I'm jumping back to YouTube after such a long time, and this beautiful look that I did on Matangi for her engagement is what you're going to watch today, step by step and in detail. Before we get started with the video, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also follow me on my Instagram for updates on bridals, classes and everything else related to makeup. You can follow both my accounts. Let's get started. I like to start with a clean and fresh skin after prepping it well with a gentle cleanser. For priming her eyelids, I picked out two colors from my most favorite Kryolan Supra color palette. One color that matches her perfectly and the other one that's warmer. Next, after careful consideration and taking a good look at both her saris, she's going to wear one now and she's going to change into another one during the engagement. After taking a good look at both the saris and after asking her what color she's comfortable with, I picked out these shades for the eye makeup. I'm using an eyeshadow blending brush and I'm blending that matte eyeshadow into her crease. I like a nice rounded fluffy blending brush that would beautifully diffuse the color into the skin. This one is from PAC and it is the 041. Another variant is 032. Then I'm moving on to a very soft metallic eyeshadow because she's not a fan of heavily foiled or heavy metallic colors. This gives a very mild and classy shine that's not too over the top. And I've chosen this color in such a way that it blends so beautifully with the previously added matte eyeshadow and it does not stand out. I then added a thin layer of kajal along her lash line and I smudged it with this sharp and flat brush. After clearing the under eyes and after choosing a combination of products that would work on her skin, I moved on to color correction. Note that I've used a warmer concealer here, not the one that matches her, because it is essential to use this shade to color correct or take care of the pigmentation. And then on top of the areas where I've color corrected, I'm using a concealer that matches her exactly. You can either start with foundation directly after color correction or do this step in between. It's completely up to you based on how the bride's skin is, based on what product you're using, the skin type, and how you prep the skin, all of that. This is more like a on-the-spot decision that you have to take. I've chosen a foundation that matches her skin so beautifully. It's called Beautiful Skin from Charlotte Tilbury, of course, and needless to say, it lives up to the name. It looks just like skin. After I've finished blending this product on the skin, you cannot say where the foundation is and where there's no foundation, except that it gives a very nice, even toned finish, but it does not add a lot of coverage. It makes your skin look like skin. I like using a small rounded blending brush for applying this kind of foundation. It gives me a lot of control while I'm applying and blending it on one particular area, rather than using a bigger brush which would cover a large area and simply diffuse the product. Finally, I'm applying a tiny bit of foundation on the under eye area to get an even tone all over the face. Also, this is not something that I would do all the time. Sometimes I would pick a lighter concealer or a concealer that matches her, or sometimes a foundation. Totally depends on what the client's skin looks like at that point in time. I'm now applying cream contour. This again is from the Kryolan Supra color palette. This is at least 3 to 4 shades darker than her skin. I'm using the same brush that I use for her foundation. Like I said earlier, I've now decided on the spot that I want to add a little bit of concealer on the under eye area. You can see that this is a couple of shades lighter to her. I'm also using a small brush which helps me with precise application, and this will make sure the product will not move and it gives a beautiful full coverage flawless finish. After carefully powdering the under eyes, I've now moved to powder the rest of the face. In my next video or in my future videos, I'll show you in detail and I'll break down the steps as much as possible to show you how to make the under eyes look flawless. You can see that I've chosen a bigger brush to powder the rest of the face because I want the powder to be nicely diffused and I don't want the skin to look too matte or too dry. While the under eye powders are still settling down, I've chosen a matte blush to apply across her cheeks. This color sits so beautifully on her skin tone and also goes with the eye makeup and the rest of the look as well. At this point, I cannot help but admire her skin. It looks so satiny and so beautifully flawless. Off camera, I added a beautiful pair of lashes that are so light, so thin. I know they're long, but they're super light on the eyelids. And when they're drying and settling down, I'm filling her eyebrows. I love using a dark brown eyebrow pencil, and she already has thick natural eyebrows, so I don't want to make them look too thick. Just filling the gaps wherever that's necessary. This step is vital to make your eye makeup look complete and your eyes look beautifully defined. I'm applying a thin layer of kajal below her waterline, and then I'm using a thin and flat brush to smudge it nicely. And then with the same brush and an eyeshadow color of my choice, you can actually pick any color that would make sense with the look. I'm just gently pressing it on top of the kajal that we previously smudged. This is to make sure your kajal stays put for the rest of the day. I'm now using an eyeliner pen to cover all the white patches or the gaps that the eyelash glue has caused. You have to take your time and do this slowly so as to not put too much pressure and rip off the lashes. After properly moisturizing her lips, I'm now applying a lip liner. This is not the color, guys. This is obviously just a lip liner, and this forms a nice base for the lipstick to sit on. Although this is not the color falls in the same family. I chose a deep rusted red lip color. I don't know, what do you call this color? Maybe like a rust? Yeah, that's more like it. So that suited very beautifully for this sari and also the next sari that she'll change into. Right now I'm checking from all angles if everything looks good, if everything looks perfect, if there's any corrections or if there's any additions or subtractions. I think she looks perfect. What do you think? If you have any questions or feedback for this look, please leave them in the comments below, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do, because we have more such content coming up soon. We also conduct makeup classes on a regular basis, both self makeup and professional makeup. You can check out my Instagram page for details on all of that. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye.